Hello car enthusiasts, it's Hunigan, your number one car customization expert, and today we'll be speaking about some of the mods that people do on their cars, in their cars, and maybe you didn't know what they mean, just hear of them. And before we continue, if you have not subscribed to my channel, please subscribe, and if you have done so, please share the video, like it, and don't forget to press the notification button just to not miss sick car content. Let's start. Well, maybe you've heard of certain types of tunings in cars: stage 1 tuning, stage 2 tuning, stage 3, and stage 4. And maybe you thought it was this type of stage. Well, it's not. Let me break it down for you. Stage represents a set of upgrades fitted and as a set, and as you might expect, a stage is how far you've gone with tuning part of your car. And stage 2 represents a more tuned car than stage 1. Where things can be a bit confusing is that what each stage means can vary from car to car and even from tuner to tuner, because what one tuner considered to be a stage 3 on a turbocharged Golf might be very different from stage 3 on a normally aspirated BMW, for example. What's still is what a tuner considered to be stage 3 might be completely different from another tuner working on the same car. And there are some general rules of thumb though. Stage 1 tends to be a series of modifications that can be fitted on their own to a standard car, stock car that is. This would include remops that don't require actually any additional hardware, intake and exhaust upgrades, and that they just leave the original catalytic converters in place. And you could make all these modifications on their own and for good power gains too. And one thing you should know is that doing them together will see the remap software giving you bigger benefits than it would on its own. And one thing we will note, it's not as simple as toting up the separate gains from each bit hardware and the software together. Engines, you should know that engines are complicated things, and how everything interacts together is not 100% predictable, so you should be very careful. Let me give you an example. Don't forget that this will vary from car to car according to the fuel quality and other factors. And on many cars you can fine-tune remaps for different quality fuel along with other settings. You can buy an extra bit of hardware that lets you switch between these settings, and on top of that you can add a high quality air intake. There's this type of intakes. They are called K and N Typhoon intakes. They are very good, and they have all of the features you'd expect to see from a good air intake, with a heat shield to keep hot air out of the big cone filter, well-designed pipework, and lots of filter surface area on offer. And stage 2 can be a little bit different between cars, and mostly depending on what their weak spots from the factory are, but the common theme tends to be removing limiting bits of exhaust in combination with software. On most petrol turbo cars, this is going to start with the downpipe. This is the section of the exhaust directly behind the turbo, and turbos are at their most efficient with as little restriction behind them as possible. This means any opening out of this section of exhaust can unlock serious power gains. And in order to do this, you're going to be replacing the original catalytic converter or converters either with a D-cut pipe or a better flowing sports catalyst. And D-cut pipe replaces the original catalytic converter with a straight through pipe, and a sports cut replaces the original catalytic converter, but obviously with higher quality. A software that specially takes advantage of the increased gas flow on offer. And that's basically all about stage 2, and using the same example of the Volkswagen Golf MK6 GTI in stage 2, Revo quote gains from 55 horsepower to up to around 95 horsepower, well, depending on what settings you are used with their software. And the required hardware for their stage 2 software includes a high flow exhaust system and high flow air intake, which is very important. And they also recommend an operated intercooler, operated engine mounts, and an operated throttle pipes. Okay, so we go to the stage 3 and higher. Okay, stage 3 and higher, or whichever you want to put it. So we go to stage 3 and higher, and it's at stage 3 actually. This point of tuning is where it gets more confusing, because it's where you push the engine way past what it was originally designed to do, and the various components that were quite happily doing their job at lower power level will start to need replacing with. You'll start to need definitely replace them with higher rated parts, and this is where the fuel pump comes in, the fuel injector comes in, and also the turbocharger. And exactly which components vary from car to car. Okay, let me just discuss this with you. And the remote software vendor should specify what you need. You see, and basically on the turbocharger side, one of the biggest limiting factors in how much power the engine can make is the turbo itself. You can only spin a turbo so fast before either the turbo itself can't take it, or the air being forced into the engine is getting too hot, way too hot. At this point, you need to go for a bigger turbo. As with fuel injectors, often the upgrade path involves swapping out with bigger turbo from another engine in the same family, and a good example is swapping a Golf R turbo onto a Golf GTI. Yeah. Now that's all, and you can also say that as well as the turbo kit. Well, along with, you should also need an operated intercooler and operated spark plugs. Okay, yeah, and well, you could also tell me what you want me to speak about in the next video. Yeah, and probably after doing the stage 3 tuning, you should also consider upgrading the brakes, upgrading the wheels, the tires, the tires, the clutch, and suspension. Suspension is common. That is the most important thing somebody should think about after doing stage 3, and generally just oiling and maintaining your car. Yeah, so if you want me to talk about a specific topic on upgrades and modifications, please just down on the comment section below type a question, and I'll get it on the next video, and that will be soon. So if I get at least 5 questions on the comment section, I'll talk about it, and you will tell me how deep you want me to get into the question, well, that I can go deeper. So guys, don't forget to subscribe please to my channel, like and share. Thank you.